Right everyone, it is Finn here and welcome to my Europa League quarter-final prediction video, where of course only 8 teams remain and we have 4 incredible games to talk about today. Starting off, we've got the likes of Leverkusen versus Union Saint-Gilloise.
Who?
Once again, I'm just never going to pronounce that right. We've got the likes of Feyenoord versus Roma, obviously the Conference League final from last year. We've got Juventus versus Sporting CP, absolutely gigantic game. And we end off with Man United versus Sevilla. Once again, all 4 of those games coming to you this match week in the first leg of the Europa League quarter-final. Of course, let me not forget to remind you guys that if you guys have been enjoying my predictions so far this season, don't forget to leave a like down below and don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. But jumping into our first game, having Leverkusen versus Union Saint-Gilloise, this could be a very, very tricky game. I think looking at Saint-Gilloise, not a lot of people would have known about them before the season, but they have absolutely bossed things around, getting some big points versus some big teams. Obviously in the Belgian Pro League this season, they've been absolutely brilliant. Second place on the table, they've gotten big points versus giant teams like Ghent, like Anderlecht, like Club Brugge. They've really been a force to reckon with in both domestic and European football. And looking at Leverkusen, they haven't quite impressed me to the extent I thought they would this season. But since Xabi Alonso has taken over, they have been a slightly different team, and I genuinely do think that this game could go either way. Obviously, looking at them, I believe they're 6th place in the Bundesliga. They obviously recently beat the likes of Bayern Munich. And because of that win versus Bayern Munich, I might just edge it to Leverkusen with a 2-1 win. Once again, they've got more household names, although as we know, it's all about how you play as a team. And St. Gilloise has definitely done that. Once again, it is only the first leg. Absolutely anything could happen. But I'm just going to give it to Xabi Alonso and his men with a 2-1 win. Now, jumping into our second game, as I said, it's Feyenoord versus Roma, the Conference League final from last season. And it all goes down to whether Jose Mourinho can replicate what he did last time. As we know, it was a very, very tight and close game last time around. And Feyenoord since then has gotten rid of some of their top footballing players. But obviously, look at them, they've still done relatively well. They've done well to replace those players. But at the end of the day, I do think Roma are a slightly better team, although maybe they haven't capitalized in Serie A this season. And I'm once again going to, you know what, actually no, I think Jose Mourinho could park the bus here.
This is football heritage.
I think the first leg is going to go down to a 0-0 draw, and I think Jose Mourinho is going to have to capitalize in the second leg. I think he's totally going to lock them down, and it could be a bit of a surprise result here. Although, once again, now that I look at things, maybe I'm going to give them a 1-0 win, because looking at a player like Paulo Dybala up front, once again, in terms of his attacking ability, Tammy Abraham, you have to kind of back them to score here. Now, jumping into our third game, we have Juventus versus Sporting. To think that both of these two teams in the Europa League is absolutely criminal. Obviously, Juventus, once again, they haven't had the best season in Serie A since they got the point deduction, but they've really started to improve bit by bit. Obviously, the fact that they're not in the Champions League is obviously an absolute travesty, but looking at them versus Sporting, this could be an incredibly close game. In fact, I'm going to put this one down as a 1-1 draw because, as we know, Juventus have really struggled versus top opposition this season. They've just lost to Lazio in the Serie A, and they could really lose versus Sporting here, who've had a brilliant season, but once again, I think this is one of those games where it will go down to the second leg. And of course, that takes us to our final game in the Europa League quarter-final first leg with Manchester United versus Sevilla. Now, obviously, as myself as a Manchester United fan, I think as long as David De Gea doesn't take a penalty kick versus a Spanish team, we should be fine here.
And De Gea, I wouldn't even let him on the bus after the match.
Yeah. Of course, here, Sevilla have made a major recovery in La Liga. Obviously, there was a stage where they were in the relegation zone. They've now worked their way up to 13th place. But versus a Manchester United team who are currently top 4 in the Premier League, once again, they've had some absolutely brilliant moments, unbeaten in the Europa League. I have to give Manchester United a 3-1 win. Sevilla not had a good season whatsoever. And looking at Man United, although there are talks about maybe Marcus Rashford being injured for this game, although even if he is back, I do think that they should rest them. Once again, with Anthony Martial back in the squad and him scoring in his first game back, I do think Manchester United should be sorted and they should really capitalize here. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for my Europa League quarterfinal first leg predictions. As I said, if there's anything you disagree, let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know who you guys think will win the competition overall. Do you think it will be a favorite like a Manchester United, like a Juventus, any of those teams, or do you think St. Gilloise will end up taking it all? Once again, let me know down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all of the good stuff, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye.